Hello, my name is Deb Thomas. I'm the Chief Librarian at the Nelson Municipal Library, and I'm here today to talk about some new children's books in the library. I'd like to start out by just giving you an overview of what different categories of children's books we have in the library. Of course, we have fiction and nonfiction, stories and fact, but we also have other categories. We have picture books for really young children. Here's the first picture book I'll be talking about today. We also have easy readers for children who are just learning how to read, maybe at the age of 5 or 6 or 7, and they're just learning how to read, and they want to read some books that they can read themselves, and it gives them a sense of accomplishment. We do have some easy readers. It's a special section in the library. Once they get to be accomplished readers, when they're, say, 8 and up, they can start reading juvenile books. And I have one juvenile book here to talk about today. The next step up from that are the young adults or teen books, and I have one young adult book to talk about today. I'll start out with the first picture book. And this picture book is called King Change-A-Lot, and it's by Babette Cole. She's the picture book readers will know her as the author of Prince Cinder, which is a switch on the Cinderella tale, and Princess Smarty Pants. Change-A-Lot is a very young prince who is fed up with being treated like a baby. His parents are running the kingdom very badly, so Change-A-Lot finds a baby genie to help him make a few dramatic changes, and he switches the kingdom around quite dramatically. So I think your children will enjoy that a lot. The other book I want to talk about, the other picture book I want to talk about, is called The Doorbell Rang by Pat Hutchins. In this story, Victoria and Sam sit down to eat some fresh-baked cookies, 6 each, when 2 friends come over. Their mother invites them to share the cookies. More and more friends come over until each child only has 1 cookie each. Then Grandma arrives to save the day. These 2 books are among quite a list of new picture books that have just gone onto the shelves. The juvenile book I'm going to deal with today is called Strange Attractors by William Slater. It's a science fiction book, and it's a story about Max, a young man fresh out of high school who discovers a time device called a phaser, quite by accident. In the process, he gets mixed up in a battle between a noted scientist named Sylvan and his daughter Eve, and 2 people who look an awful lot like them. Each group wants the phaser and his help. Who is real and who isn't, and Max has to figure that out and somehow come out on the side of right in the end. This book also illustrates the difficulty we have in telling the difference sometimes between juvenile and young adult books. In fact, this young adult book and this juvenile book are almost on the same level. So sometimes there are books that are just on the border. We think of young adult readers usually as between 12 and 16. Once they reach about 16 or 17, they start reading adult books, and sometimes even younger than that. So these are really young teens, and these are up to about 12 years old. So sometimes there are books that kind of cross the line. The last book I want to deal with today is My War with Goggle Eyes by Anne Fine. And this one, as I said, is a young adult book. The issue is divorce and remarriage. Fine gives an honest, compassionate, and humorous treatment to the story of a young teen's difficulties in accepting her mother's new boyfriend. What I really liked about this book is that there are no villains in it. The boyfriend is not a villain, even though Kitty, the young teen, thinks he is in the beginning. And it's very perceptive, and it has a really good resolution to the difficulties. There's one other thing I'd like to talk about while I have this book here. While I was reading it, I discovered it had been rather badly damaged. The book has only been on the shelf for about a month or so, 2 months perhaps, And here we have someone damaged it. Now this is really a shame because it will cost us to replace that book, and sometimes it's difficult to trace who actually did the damage, though we certainly make an effort. One thing I would like to say to anyone who's borrowing books from the library and discovers damage is to tell us immediately so you don't get blamed for that damage, because if you are blamed and you do admit to the damage, you will have to pay for the book, plus a 20% reprocessing fee, because it does cost us time and money to put the book back on the shelf. I'd also like to just briefly talk about two new videos we have in. One is very timely. It's about swimming. It's called Swimming Warm-Up. It's a 30-minute videotape. It's for serious swimmers, and it's a 20-minute aerobic and stretching workout that warms up and strengthens the muscles especially needed for swimming. The emphasis is on flexibility, upper body strength, and endurance conditioning. I thought it was kind of a curious twist, because most of us think of swimming in itself as exercise, and never dawns on us that we should warm up to go swimming. But here it is, and it's quite a good little video. The last video I want to talk about is the American Ballet Theater at the Met, which some of you may know is the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. It's 101 minutes long, and it has 4 ballets in it. Les Sylphides, which is from music by Chopin. Triad, which is music by Prokofiev. Sylvia, music by, and I'm not sure the pronunciation of this, it's Delibes, I think. Paquita, and the music is by Minkus in that case. Probably the most famous ballet dancer in this particular video is Mikhail Baryshnikov. I'm sure nearly everyone has heard about it at this point. The performances are flawless, and it's a really good introduction to some famous ballets. It's a good video if you wanted to introduce your children or your teens to ballet, since we don't get to see it around here too often. Well, that's all I have for today, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.